So I wanted to do kind of a quick follow-up to a video I did some time ago where I compared the kind of entry-level student grade oil paints. And I compared a couple of different brands, but mainly it was focused on Gamblin and Utrecht, which is made by Blick, I believe. But I compared those to some other cheaper ones, like some kind of generic ones that I got on Amazon. And really these, I think it was 4 different ones that I looked at, and these 2 rose to the top: the student grade Gamblin 1980 and the Utrecht Studio series. So those were kind of the best ones, and obviously I use those quite a lot, as you can tell by how beat up this one is. This is like kind of my go-to. Both of them are great, but I have recently, well, not really recently, but I think it was Christmas, but I've gotten some artist grade from each brand also, and I've used them a little bit, not as much because I feel kind of weird about using them. I want to use them for like special occasions, you know. So since I have 4 ultramarine blues and I've got 2 of the artist grades, I wanted to try these out and kind of show you what they look like on paper, in case you've never seen them and you want to explore that. So I kind of divided this up into a grid. Artist grade is the best. These are the 2 student grades here. So I'll start with Utrecht, and I'll clean the brush off after each one. So this is the Utrecht Studio. This is kind of the cheaper grade. So as you can see, it's very vibrant. This is something that I mix often with umber, with raw umber. When you mix that with an ultramarine blue, you get a very nice deep black. It looks really nice. So this Utrecht, this Utrecht Studio, again, student grade, it looks really nice. It's very vivid. The color holds up really well too. I've been using this for maybe 1.5 years or so, almost 2 years. And the paintings that are older that use this heavily are still really good. They're still really vibrant. And so you can see it lays down really nicely. It's a really nice paint. So let me get this brush cleaned off here. And then I'm going to switch over to the, so this is the Utrecht Artist grade. So this is the nicer, the smaller tube that I have here. It's the nicer grade. You can see that the color, hopefully you can see that. I don't know how this is going to come across on video. It's also very vibrant, clearly. You know, same brand, but I feel like the pigment might be a little deeper. Like, look where I've laid that on very thickly. I don't know if you can see that, but compared to this thick spot, this is a very just deep blue. It blends really nicely. It's very rich. It blends very nicely with all colors, but with that umber, man. So it looks great on paper. So I really do, you know, I'm gonna try to get this a little thinner here. Let me get a little thin section. They're very similar, but I think with thicker paint laid down, this artist grade it just has a richness to it. So it looks really good. So I'm going to switch over. Let me get this brush cleaned a little bit. I'm going to switch over to this Gamblin 1980. This is again the student grade. Okay, there it is. It's also very nice. It feels there. There's differences in tubes. Sometimes you'll get a tube that has a little more binder or additive to it or whatever. This feels, the consistency of it feels a little thicker than the Utrecht maybe. And I don't know if you can see that, like laying it down here. It lays down a little less evenly. Not that that's not necessarily good or bad. That's not because you can always change the consistency by what you add to your oil paint, because this is just paint straight out of the tube. So if you're adding any linseed oil or any other stuff, I don't use turpentine or anything like that, but if you do, you can change the consistency of these. But this Gamblin 1980 feels a little thicker, maybe. The consistency is a little different. Let me see if I can see how this Utrecht kind of spread a little. It felt a little like, I don't want to say melted butter or anything like that, but it did spread a little more easily. So the color is nice though on this 1980, the Gamblin 1980. Again, this is the student grade of Gamblin. It looks good. The color is really good. I do have these little zones where it's bunching up though, I see. You can spread this out a little bit, but the laydown appears to be a little bit different, although the colors are pretty good. They appear to be pretty true between these. One of the things that I worry about sometimes, I'm not an extremely experienced artist, but I do worry sometimes about, like, am I going to have color fidelity when I switch to different types, different brands, and so forth? That's always a concern, because you want something that's predictable. Like if you're in a routine of blending certain things, you want to know that something's going to happen. You want to be able to predict it. Ooh, that looks really nice. Okay, so this is the Gamblin artist grade now. This is, the more expensive. Again, the artist is the more expensive grade here. This is very deep. Look at that. This reminds me a lot of this when I first laid it down. Again, the consistency is a little different. I can certainly feel that. As I'm putting the paint on my brush, I can feel the difference between these. Again, not good or bad necessarily, just a little different. There's a little different feel to it, a little different consistency. This artist grade Gamblin is beautiful though. And I had the same experience, I think, my same reaction to the Utrecht artist grade. Is very pretty. And looking at it now that it's on paper, obviously this is the same color, right? It's obviously all ultramarine blue. That's good. There's consistency here. But I can see definitely a difference between this artist grade and the student grade. It's, when it's on paper, I can see it. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. I really like the way this looks when it's on paper. So I have not actually had the opportunity to blend the artist grade Gamblin with raw umber. I haven't used it for that. So I do wonder what the richness of this ultramarine blue looks like when it's mixed with the umber. But I'm hopeful that based on this rich color that I see on paper, I think it's going to work pretty well. So so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to lay these down on paper, get a little comparison now that I've had this artist grade and the student grade, so that we could see that as a follow-up to my previous video. So if there are any questions, definitely weigh in the comments. I love the back and forth, so I'd love to hear from anyone who wanted to pop in. Thanks for watching. See you for the next one.